Imagine a world where your trusty iPhone is stuck in time. Hey everyone, MKBHD here. Today, we're diving into a topic that could potentially change the way we think about our devices. Let's talk about something that could really shake things up in the tech world. It's not just a minor tweak or a small update. It's a fundamental shift in how we interact with our technology. Imagine a world where your iPhone, that trusty companion, suddenly stops getting those software updates. No more security patches, no more new features, and no more improvements. It's not just about missing out on the latest emojis or cool new features either. It's about the overall experience of using your device and how it integrates into your daily life. We're talking about a future where your iPhone 14 Pro, or even last year's model, could be left behind in the update cycle. This could mean a significant change in how we perceive the longevity of our devices. What if Apple decides to only support iPhones from the iPhone 15 and newer? This could create a divide between those with the latest technology and those with slightly older models. This isn't just a random thought experiment. It's a scenario that could have real implications for millions of users worldwide. We've seen similar things happen with other tech, and it got me thinking about the potential ripple effects. How would this impact the secondhand market? What about the environmental consequences of more frequent upgrades? Would this be a good thing, pushing us to upgrade more often? Or would it just lead to more electronic waste and financial strain on consumers? Or could it create a whole bunch of problems? From compatibility issues to increased costs, the potential downsides are significant. Let's dive in and explore the possibilities. We'll look at the pros and cons and try to understand what this could mean for the future of our beloved iPhones. Let's talk about why those software updates aren't just about new emojis. Sure, new emojis are fun and all, but there's a lot more going on behind the scenes. Okay, first things first, security. It's the backbone of why these updates are so crucial. Those software updates you often ignore? Yeah, the ones you keep postponing. They're like the security guards of your phone's software. They stand watch, making sure everything is safe and sound. Every update usually comes with patches that fix vulnerabilities hackers could use to break in. Think of them as sealing up cracks in your digital fortress. Imagine your phone is like a house, a place where you keep all your valuable information. Each update is like reinforcing a window or locking a door. It's about making sure every entry point is secure. Now, imagine Apple stops sending those security teams to your older iPhone. No more reinforcements, no more locks. Suddenly, it's much easier for the bad guys to get in. They can exploit those unpatched vulnerabilities. No updates mean your phone becomes a much juicier target for malware, viruses, and all sorts of nasty digital threats. It's like leaving your front door wide open. And trust me, you don't want to deal with that. The stress, the frustration, it's just not worth it. So yeah, those seemingly boring updates are actually super important for keeping your data safe and your phone running smoothly. Next time you see that update notification, think twice before hitting "Remind me later." Will your favorite apps stop working? Remember when Instagram wouldn't load on your old phone? Next up, let's talk about apps. Remember that time your favorite app wouldn't load on your old phone because it needed a software update? Now, imagine that on a much larger scale. As developers create new apps and update existing ones, they often optimize them for the latest software. If your iPhone is stuck in the past, those shiny new apps might not even work. And even if they do, they might be buggy or crash constantly. It'd be like trying to fit a square peg in a round hole. Your phone's older software just wouldn't be able to keep up with the demands of newer apps. And that means your iPhone experience wouldn't be so smart anymore. How much is your old iPhone really worth? Let's dive into the financial side of things. Here's the thing about tech, it ages. And as it ages, it loses value. That's just the nature of the beast. But what if Apple stopping updates made your iPhone age faster? Like, way faster. Think about it. Who's going to want to buy your old iPhone if it's basically a security risk and can't even run the latest apps? The resale value of your device would plummet. And it's not just about selling your phone. What if you need to get it repaired? If parts are scarce because the model is considered obsolete, those repairs could get expensive. Suddenly, holding onto your iPhone for longer becomes a much more expensive proposition. Section 5. The user experience. Stuck in the past. Imagine having the newest iPhone, but it's stuck with old software. Let's talk about the user experience. Remember that feeling of getting a new software update and having all those cool new features at your fingertips? Now imagine that feeling coming to a screeching halt. No more updates means no more new features, no performance improvements, and no battery life optimizations. Your iPhone would be stuck in a time warp, forever running the same old software. It'd be like having a brand new car, but being stuck with the same old engine. Sure, it might still get you from point A to point B, but you'd be missing out on all the latest and greatest advancements. Section 6. The market reacts. Will people Apple-laud or Revolt? How would people react to this change? Would they keep buying iPhones? Now, let's get into the real world for a second. How would people react if Apple actually did this? Would they be cool with it, or would there be a massive backlash? Apple has a loyal fan base, but even the most die-hard Apple fans might think twice about upgrading every single year if older phones become unusable faster. It could even make people consider switching to Android, where updates aren't as tightly controlled. This could also put Apple in the hot seat with regulators. Some might argue that Apple is intentionally making older phones obsolete to push people into buying new ones. Not a good look, Apple. Section 7. A blast from the past. How Apple and others handle updates. Let's compare how Apple has handled updates in the past with other companies. To understand how this whole situation might play out, let's look at the past. Apple's actually been pretty good about supporting older iPhones with software updates for a decent amount of time. They've even gotten better at it recently, with iOS 17 supporting iPhones as old as the iPhone XS from 2018. That's pretty impressive. But other companies haven't been as generous. Some Android phones only get a couple of years of updates, if that. So there's definitely a spectrum here. The question is, where would Apple fall if they decided to shorten the update lifespan of iPhones? Section 8. What's next? Options for iPhone users. Don't worry, I've got you covered. Whether you're a tech enthusiast or just someone who loves their iPhone, there are plenty of paths you can take. Let's explore your options if this happens. Okay, so let's say Apple actually does this. You might be wondering what your next step should be. What are your options? Well, the most obvious one is to upgrade to a newer iPhone. This ensures you get the latest features, security updates, and a smoother experience overall. But that's not always feasible or desirable, especially if you're rocking a perfectly good older model. Maybe your current iPhone still meets your needs, and you don't want to part with it just yet. Another option is to explore the world of third-party software. This can be a great way to extend the life of your device without spending a lot of money. There are custom ROMs and operating systems out there that can breathe new life into older devices. These can offer new features and improvements that you wouldn't get from the official updates. However, this is definitely more of an advanced option and might void your warranty. It's important to weigh the pros and cons before diving into this route. Finally, you could just accept the limitations of your older iPhone and use it for as long as possible. This is a perfectly valid choice, especially if your device still performs well for your daily tasks. After all, it's still a capable device, even without the latest and greatest software. Remember, the best device is the one that works for you, regardless of its age or specs. Section 9. The big picture updates matter, folks. At the end of the day, this whole hypothetical situation highlights just how important software updates are. They're not just about shiny new features, they're about security, compatibility, and the overall longevity of your device. Whether Apple decides to shake things up or not, it's a good reminder to pay attention to those update notifications and keep your iPhone's software up to date. Stay safe out there, and I'll catch you in the next video.